It is week 13 already. Wow. So we're approaching the end. This is when playoffs really get weird. We've started to see which teams are out of the playoff race. Now it's, I think, yeah. There's a video got taken down. A meme. So let's just cross up. Lions, Seahawks, they're out. Bears, small chance. But right now, the playoff favorites to steal that seed are going to be Washington, Vikings, and probably the Saints and Eagles. Falcons are Falcons. Here's this current playoff picture, and obviously teams like Green Bay, Tampa, Dallas, they're already locks. Arizona, of course, is a lock. AFC is a bit more complicated. There's a good chance at least half these teams, I think, Buffalo, New England, um, yeah, Buffalo, New England, and Baltimore are locks. But the rest, oh, Titans too. It's crazy. Um, it's gonna be a really good playoff race. Bears are, well, we're out of it. We're not gonna make the playoffs. That's probably for the better. Don't want Nagy staying. Let Fields rest up. Season's over. Probably gonna go 7-10 in my opinion. But I would love to be wrong. Super Bowl run. A sports fan can dream. Wouldn't be that fun if I just be all negative all the time, but it gotta be real sometimes. It is what it is. Um, week 12 was nice, Thanksgiving. The Bears won. Woo, we beat the Lions with our backup quarterback and half our team injured. With our future franchise quarterback out because Nagy doesn't know how to fucking play call. Thanks. Um, the win was nice. I probably shouldn't celebrate that much. It is beating the worst team in the league by a fucking field goal. It's not like we, you know, upset the Packers by 50 points or something crazy like that. We didn't win the goddamn Super Bowl. We beat a team um, that I think every team should beat. You have to beat the Lions, unless you're the Steelers. Anyway, without further ado, Bears won. Whoopee. Now it's on to the next week. We're going to be starting with Thursday night. Got the Cowboys coming off a rough loss versus a good Raiders team. And we also got the New Orleans Saints coming off a blowout loss versus the Baltimore Bills. Not Baltimore, Buffalo Bills. Sorry, you can see the time. It's pretty late. But regardless of that, it's just these two teams. Cowboys, they're comfortable in their lead. They're gonna be a playoff lock because these teams aren't gonna really compete for the. They're gonna compete for a wild card. There's no chance to winning this division. But they're trying to compete for this first seed. They lose this game. There's no way they're getting that third seed. There's no way Green Bay, Tampa, and Cardinals are gonna all drop a few games. It's not gonna happen. As for the Saints, they're just competing to stay alive. A win here would be huge. A few losses would be massive. And with the Falcons playing the Bucks, a win here and a Falcons loss, wait no, that puts them in the seventh seed. So a win puts them in the seventh seed, but that game will be played. So if they win this game, they're in the playoff picture for at least a couple days. But I just don't have them winning this game. The Dallas offense with Dak Prescott is just it's better, and they're pissed off after a loss at home, and they're gonna get revenge, and I think they're gonna put up a good game. 31-21, Cowboys win. Okay, now let's move on to AFC. We're gonna do AFC. Actually, no. Let's do NFC. Of course, I saved the Bears game for last. We got the Vikings versus the Lions, a division matchup, a matchup that is very important to the Vikings. As much as I don't really like the Vikings and I feel sorry for the Lions, if Justin Fields was able to torch the not the Lions, the Lions like 27-14 or whatever, we torched them, and we still managed to beat them with Andy Dalton. Now the Vikings have more talent. They're a better team, but I still think the Bears can beat them. I don't. After beating the Green Bay Packers, the Lions should not be a problem for this Vikings team, and for that reason, and for the reason that this Lions team couldn't beat Andy Dalton and half our team injured on their own turf on Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, you invented Thanksgiving football, Detroit. You were the first to do it back in like the 30s, almost 100 years. Um, I don't have the Lions winning this game. I do think the Vikings are going to play down the competition, which is probably going to lose them a game versus the Bears. But you can still play down the competition against the Lions and win. Um, there's going to probably be a few scares. I think maybe the Lions are going to jump out to an early lead, get a lucky touchdown, or maybe a field goal or two or something. Set the game up like up 10-3, but at the end, I think the Vikings are going to play another sloppy game and they're going to win 21-13. Next up, we got a big matchup for the 7th seeds. And for the sake of Bears, I'll be rooting for the Tampa Bay Bucks, as the more losses these other teams have, the better. But the playoff odds for the Bears is stupid. It's dumb. But nonetheless, the Bucks, they're in the 3rd seed, which is a seed that I don't think anyone really wants to be in. I think it's a cursed seed in my opinion. Bears had the 3rd seed. Every 3rd seed. Um, they play San Francisco. Okay. Every 3rd seed just had a rough time in the playoffs for the last few years, and just the way Brady's been playing, I just I don't have Falcons. They get a few good upset wins, but I just don't see them beating the Bucks. They beat the Saints, cool and all, but with this win, the Bucks all but clinch the playoffs. Um, Now it's just up to them to get the 1st seed if they can, because they have the tiebreaker over most of these teams. And there's what? After this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If they win, ooh, I don't think they're gonna win that one, even though they pretty much have it in the bag. I think Bucks are gonna win this, uh, 24-10. Okay, next up, Seahawks are ass. They really are. But I don't think any losing streak can go on forever. They played decent. I think Russell Wilson, in my opinion, is going to come back. And I think there's going to be an upset. I'm calling an upset. I think the Seahawks are going to narrowly edge out the 49ers and make some noise in the playoff picture. Yeah. Um, it's only going to be by a field goal, though. I think it's going to be an ugly game, a very ugly game. I think it's going to be 20-17. Yeah. Okay, next up we got inner conference matchups. We have the New York Giants versus the Miami Dolphins. Um, Giants are 4-7. But I still think this is a tank bowl. Giants have 2 picks. Dolphins only have the Eagles pick. But right now the Dolphins are red hot. Their offense is clicking. They are going off. They're just playing really good, and the Giants are really not playing good. They're just not. Dolphins are. They beat good opponents, quality opponents. They beat the Panthers with well, not really that good opponents. They beat the Ravens with Lamar. I just I got the Dolphins. They're gonna continue this winning streak. They're red hot right now, one of the hottest teams in the league, and I don't think your winning streak is gonna be snapped by the Dolphins of all teams. Not 207. No, no. I got Dolphins 27, Giants 17. That Dolphins. Next up, we got the Eagles versus the Jets. One of the few matchups in the NFL where one team has won every single time. The Jets have never beaten the Eagles. Um, they tied them once in preseason this year, 31-31. That was cool, I guess. But preseason doesn't count. Then now does it? Um, the Eagle one day eventually the Jets will finally beat the Eagles. But with the way both these teams have been playing, Eagles have not been that good. They're 5-7. But the Jets are the Jets, and I just don't see that trend continuing. Actually, I have a feeling. I'm gonna go with my gut feeling. I think the Jets are gonna narrowly edge out the Eagles and get their first win over them in franchise history, 21-17 in an ugly game. And that's the Washington football team versus the Oakland Raiders. Now, the Washington football team barely beat a battered Seahawks that are mad. Oakland Raiders um, last week beat the Cowboys, one of the best teams that put up an offensive powerhouse, and I just don't think Washington has the ability to. They have the ability to put a halt, give them a run for their money, but I don't think they had the ability to win this game. Raiders win 35-21. And next up, we got. I think it's going to be a blowout. I'm not even going to bother. Rams are finally going to break their losing streak. There's no way they lose to the Jags. If they do, they should automatically be eliminated, and the playoff spot should go to the Bears or the Panthers or something. Because if you lose to the Jags, there's no way you can compete against real teams like the Cardinals, Packers, or Bucks or Cowboys. Like literally every NFC team except the Lions is better than the Jags. Even that's debatable. I got the Rams beating the Jags 42-17. Next up, we got the Colts at the Texans. Texans got two decent wins against their divisional foes. One against a blowout win versus the Jags week 1 back in September, and then a baffling upset win against the Titans like a week or two ago. That still befuddles me. Yeah, week 11. I'm still shocked that happened. It was a loss that Titans couldn't afford. It should have never happened, so that's going to bite them in the ass. But despite that, Colts have been playing pretty good. They've been popping off 45 points against the Jets, and that offense, just the Texans cannot compete with it. For that reason, I got the Colts coming into Houston and smacking them up 30, 33, 33-14. But, 21. Next up, Chargers at Bengals. Wow. Bengals team is playing red hot right now. Chargers team just out of the playoff race. They kind of slumped a bit. Uh, they've dropped their last few games. 2-3 the last 2-3 since their bye. Um, they've been an on and off team. Not bad, but not really super good, but 6-5 is a respectable record. I would love to be 6-5 right now. Um, it's not that bad. It really isn't. I think they'll compete, but I just have the Bengals winning this game, and I think it's going to be a good one. 31-24, close one. Okay, next up, Ravens at Steelers. Steelers are garbage. I'm so salty about the win that they stole from us. The Bears should be 5-6. I mean, they also should have won that Ravens game. So in reality, we should be we should be no, no, 6-5 too. If it weren't for that Ravens and Pittsburgh ref ball. So we should have beat both those teams, but oh well, it is what it is, I guess. Uh, Fuck you, Nagy. But nonetheless, Lamar Jackson is on the Ravens. The Steelers tied to the Lions, and they have Big Ben. That's all I have to say. I'm not a big fan of the Steelers. I just don't really like them that much. But you're 5-6-1. Um, After this, that pretty much kisses goodbye all playoff chances. That tie that should have been a blowout win. I expected the Steelers to win that game by 2 touchdowns, but they tied. That's rough. Anyway, I got the Ravens winning this game 42-24. I think the Steelers are going to try to score some points. I think some garbage time touchdowns. They're not going to get really, I want to call 18 points a blowout, but it's definitely a high scoring game. For me, a blowout is 20-point differential. Next up, got Denver Broncos at Kansas City coming off a bye. Denver, I think, has the potential to win this game if they play good enough. But just because it's coming off a bye and an Arrowhead, I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to narrowly beat the Broncos 27 to 22. I think they're going to make it a game. Next up, the Patriots and Bills. This is a matchup, Monday Night Football, one of the best Monday Night Football games of the season, if not the best. This is going to be a good matchup between two really good teams. Um, and I'm a little bit biased because I do like the Bills. Um, Bills offense has been very electric, and they really understand Belichick well since they've been playing, you know. And for that reason, I think the Bills are going to upset, crazy, yeah, upset, the Patriots and get a win just because it's at home. The other game, I'm honestly probably going to pick the Patriots unless something drastic changes from now and then. This is going to be a split series. It can be a very narrow, very high scoring game. 38-37. Bills win. And finally, we have the matchup we've all been waiting for. This has been a quick episode. Wow, this is quicker than I thought. Also, let's punch in all the stuff now. So, boom, 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 boom. San Francisco. I think I picked, yeah, I picked Seattle. And then I picked. Okay, so the seeds don't really change all that much. These flip. Next up, mismatchup. As much as I want the Bears to win, I just gotta be real. It's the Cardinals of Kyler Murray coming off a bye, and Nagy's probably gonna be like, yeah, I don't want to aggregate it. In this point, it's a meaningless game. I want Fields to get experience, but I also don't want him to get killed. So, until further notice, I'm gonna assume Dalton is playing. I just, unless something drastic changes, like they forfeit, or They just give up, something like that. I just don't see the Bears winning this game. As much as it hurts, I rarely pick against the teams, but we're not beating the Cardinals, and for a good reason. Because if we do beat the Cardinals, look at that. The Packers go to the first seed, and for what? A meaningless game that's not going to help us. Yeah, it's going to be nice to beat the Cardinals. I'll still celebrate. Hell yeah, we beat the Cardinals, but I don't see us beating the Cardinals. I really don't, because they're I don't really see them with their schedule. I don't see them. I think they're gonna win out, honestly. Beat them, definitely beat them, definitely beat the Colts. Close game versus the Cowboys, and then just end the game with the Seahawks. And the Packers, only loss. I can see them be. I can see us probably doing some crazy upset. But realistically, the only real team I can see actually beating the Packers would be the Ravens. That's about it. But in all realistically, we're not gonna win this game. The Bears are going to lose on Sunday. Um, and this is never lost to get Nagy fired. Let Dalton take the lumps. It's not in their best interest to win, but I will be rooting for a win. The only problem is a win would pretty much get the Packers in the first seed. But I'm gonna be rooting for my own team, even if it helps our biggest rival. So I guess for 1 week and 1 week only, Packer fans are rooting for us. Welcome to the Bears, cheeseheads. Now you get to be disappointed like us, because we're not gonna win this game. I got the Cardinals winning 38-17. Nah, actually, no, I don't think we're gonna probably put it more. I got Cardinals 45, Bears 20, 26. I think the probably do an intentional safety or some crazy shit like that. 45-20. Is that scoregami? Let me check. Okay, 45. Okay, guess not. I think that's much more accurate. Let's try that. I think 36-23. So let's get some scoregami. Bears get 3 touchdowns and a safety, intentional safety at the end. Cardinals beat us by 13 points. I'll be happy with that. Fields throws for 2 touchdowns if he plays. 1 rushing. Cardinals win. Because I don't see us beating. I will be rooting for them though, and then I'll be rooting for us to beat the Packers next week. I would love that. Go Bears. Anyway, good night.